one of the most functioning, if we might say, because beside them, we do have a number of married couples who spend their time hurting one another, really, which is not the case for them here. And of course, when I said it's a book about, it's a feminist book, it's not a feminist book. It's the way Chimamanda Ngozi kind of wrote a pamphlet called "We Should All Be Feminist." Kind of, it was a bit not extreme exactly, but I think not very. I mean, it made kind of men a bit more uncomfortable. Here, it seems to be a very quiet, very serene sort of feminist claims. Remy never quarrels with a husband. She just tells him whenever a misunderstanding occurs. She tells him what she thinks of what things should be. There is a passage here I can read to you which says how simple their relation is indeed. Remy has arranged a lunch out with a friend of hers, and then of course Tunde, the husband, just doesn't appreciate that idea of having a wife out in Lagos without him. And they start that discussion. And this is the husband saying to Remy, I forbid it. So I forbid you to go with that other lady out. I forbid it, he said. And Remy, I laughed so loud that Festus is somebody working in the shop, Festus knocked on my office door to check I was not crying out in pain. I signaled to him that I was fine. Why? I asked after Festus shut the door. I have told you, this is the husband speaking. I have told you what I think of her. Meanwhile, what I am going to eat while you're busy cavorting around Lagos. Patience will get you your food. Patience is the housemaid. I have nothing to do with Patience, that's the husband. All you have to do is ask. No, I don't get involved in kitchen matters. Come on, my friend. I said no, this has to stop, says the husband. You want me around 24 hours at your beck and call. Come home for lunch today. That is all I ask. To do what? Says the wife. Stare at his face? Now that we were alone, we spent our spare time reading the newspapers or watching the news. Once in a while, we listened to music. It was such a stickler for timeliness. Food at this time, bed at that time, etc., etc. So we can see there is kind of a disagreement here between the husband and the wife. So this is the sort of book we have here. And of course, she wants to push forward claims, but quietly. She doesn't want to be there to get food ready for a husband because they have got a housemaid who just can't do that job. So she's not trying to be irrespective of a husband. She's just trying to say, now look, be reasonable in a way, be reasonable. If it is just food you need, then that food can be served by somebody else instead of me. That's what she's saying here. And of course, in the entire novel, we have stories where you can see where the position of Remy Lawal is, of course. Remy Lawal knows another couple, which is the couple of Mr. Abubakar. What was his name? I just forgot. Abubakar Ibrahim. And Abubakar Ibrahim has got kind of a reputation of being very, very, shall we say, I mean, not a women hater, but really, the moment one of his wife tried to challenge him, he didn't think of a better idea than to knock him down to with his Range Rover, and he killed him on the spot. And this is kind of created that a sense that men have got are entitled to anything when it comes to managing the life of their wives. So Remy Lawal has never been very comfortable with Abu Bakr Ibrahim, for example. So she's really very stringent on what she desires as what the place of women in society should be. But she also refuses to be very extremistic there, because Frances the Bead Collector is a feminist, a really hardcore feminist who hates to have children and who doesn't even understand why women do bear children. I mean, they started that kind of discussion, so we can see he doesn't want to be a feminist in the terms that in the way we define that feminism in the West. She wants to be free, but she's got also kind of very serious consideration for a husband. So this is what the book is all about. I mean that really it goes around that card shop. So every character just comes into that shop, and then this interaction would be an opportunity for for Sefi Atta kind of to try to describe to us the sociology of what is going on within that elite. I mean, it's a good book. The Bead Collector. I wouldn't say this is the best book I've read from Sefi Atta. To my knowledge, really, Swallow is one of the most powerful. Swallow, with that story of these girls kind of drug smuggle, that those women smuggling drugs to Europe. I mean, they would swallow all bowls of heroin and to try to sell them. Swallow is very powerful. This one is kind of like you have to struggle a little bit, kind of to continue to be awake at times, but still, when you finish it, then you have an idea of really what going on in that Lagos elite Sefi Atta is trying to describe in this book. Frances is just a pretense, right? Frances is just what we might say the element that allows the author to compare the way we define things, the way we define the role of children in society, the role of women in society, the role. She's just the element that allows that comparison. It's a book to read. The Bead Collector by the Nigerian writer Sefi Atta. Thank you very much.